Hello, Abraham. You're familiar with Wayne Dyer. I was introduced to him prior to being introduced to your teachings.
Many people were ready for him before they were ready for us.
Yeah, I was really happy when he croaked. And the reason is I always had this wisdom. I was born with this. I took a lot of abuse because I know what you teach for a long time with non-receptive people. And I always had a feeling, and this is my worthiness issue, that he was occupying my space. I used to do inspirational speaking. I took my shoes off, and then he took his shoes off. And people said, oh, it's like Wayne Dyer. And it always kind of hurts my feelings in a way because we're separate people. So I stopped for a long time. And I do feel the calling from my inner being and from the people around me. They say it's time for you to take the stage.
Well, we don't disagree with that, but we do disagree that there's a space that you are sharing. And that was your way of interpreting you're not being ready. And the thing that's most interesting about desire is that when you hold a desire and you're not lined up with it, and you witness someone else lined up with it and doing it, they're now receiving of what you're yearning for, reaching for but not allowing, can make you feel uncomfortable. If your desire is for some particular success, which you have not yet gotten into the place where you're allowing yourself, and you see someone else living it, we can see how you'd say, they're getting my share, or at a minimum, just resenting the fact that they figured out their way to it while you haven't yet. But the thing that we most want to talk about in this economic world, and we're talking about the economy of dollars and the economy of energy. The balance of energy is just like the balance of dollars. It's in and out and in and out and in and out, and what you're allowing in. The shortage consciousness is about this belief that there is a finite pie or space, and that we're sharing it with each other. And if you're getting too big of a piece of it, then you're depriving me of my piece. And of course, that is a flawed premise, but it is still a belief that will cause you, in holding that belief, to deny yourself what you are wanting. And so that's why beliefs are so powerful. When you believe them, then law of attraction demonstrates them to you. And then you say, see, I told you it was true. What is happening, however, is that your desire is being heard from the non-physical perspective of this great teacher who is still really eager and interested in what's going on. And so you're picking up on his enthusiasm for all of that. He is not saying to you, I stepped aside so you can take the stage. He is saying to you, there was always room for you on my stage, and what's even more fun is when you create your own stage. So stop giving me the credit or the blame for what you're doing or not doing, and get on with what you want to do.
Yeah. I learned to write. I can't create emotions within my body, as in, well, I can jump.
Because emotions are response to vibrational mix. So you can focus thoughts that create emotions.
I feel like I can create emotions without having a thought, so I can go.
Well, you can't.
Cannot.
We want you to always know that emotions are response to energy flow. Now, it could be an energy that you are not consciously acknowledging as a thought, but it's always in response to vibration. And usually, emotional response is in response to vibration that has really turned into something that has momentum. You usually do not have an emotional response until there is some momentum in the thought that is combining with the thought.
Got it.
When you really, really want something, you've heard this so many times, it will come out of your mouth on stage often. If somebody you did not know said to you, hello, called you on the phone, you don't know me, I'm just calling to tell you I'll never call you again, you'd say, okay. But if someone you really care about called you and said, I'm not ever going to talk to you again, you would feel emotion about it, because your desire is active, and the belief that was just applied causes an emotional response. Every emotion is just like that to some degree. What do you think is the point? What are you getting at with this emotion that you can produce in your body?
Well, I wanted to find out that is it generate the feelings and then meditate, or just meditate?
Well, here's where you're headed with this, and this is brilliant that you're going down this road, and so we're going to follow you right down this road. So you say, I think I'm having emotion with no thought. So let's consider that in light of what we've been talking about here. It's a very fine-tuning of a thought. The principle that we just spoke still applies, but here's why you think that you're not thinking and you're feeling emotion. So let's say you're banging around out here in the physical world and you're having a lot of emotion. Things make you happy, things make you mad, things make you feel exhilarated, things make you feel depressed. In other words, whatever you're focused upon, you will have an emotional response dependent upon what your inner being's opinion about those same things is. So everybody gets that, yes? But let's say now you've meditated and you've quieted your mind. And as you quiet your mind, you've stopped thought. And as you stop thought, you allow connection with your inner being, who is love. So in what feels to you like absence of thought, you can feel the emotion of love, because the larger part of you is still thinking. And that is the most important conversation to have about this, because you will never be able to separate yourself from your own inner being. And your inner being is always thinking love and wholeness and sureness and worthiness and well-being. In other words, these are the thoughts more. These are the beliefs more. This is the knowing of your inner being. And so every emotion you have is the juxtaposition of whatever you got going on in relationship to that knowing.
Got it. On the meditation, I'm able to quiet my mind. I got that. And there's sometimes a pulling of going and making a call or doing something. I asked you this before, but I guess I didn't get the recording and I didn't write it, the answer. So is it better to get up and actually take that action, or is it better to chill?
When an impulse comes that feels compelling, do it.
So don't say, hey, Abraham said 15 minutes.
But the whole point of the 15 minutes is to get to the place where you can receive an impulse. If you get there in 30 seconds, get up.
Got it. Thank you. On one of the early recordings, you said, if I heard you correctly, the reason that we suggest meditation because you humans are not really good at pure positive thought.
Well, we said it nicer than that. But that's what we meant.
Abraham, human.
It's easier to teach you to have no thought than to have pure positive thought, because law of attraction won't let you let go of what you've got going on right now.
But what is pure positive thought?
Pure positive thought is the one you get in meditation when there's no resistance.
That's that pulling.
Pure positive thought is a knowing of your value without any contradiction to it. A knowing of love without any contradiction to it. It's desire without the yearning. Pure positive energy is connection to source.
Am I understand this correctly? There is vibration, then there's a thought, and there's an emotion,
all right.
And then verb,
There's a vibration which can be interpreted by you into a thought, or can be interpreted by you into an emotion, or can be interpreted by you, interpreted, received, meaning the same thing, received by you as an impulse, received by you as a stronger impulse, and received by you as a stronger impulse, until it's received by you as you're interpreting through your eyes and ears and nose and fingertips and so on. Vibration coming forward into further recognition or realization. We are offering specific vibrations to Esther, and she has found specific words that mean specifically what we mean, because we are always broadcasting to you, or we are always presenting to you, or we are always offering to you, but it is your reception that makes the difference. So it's your realization And think about that word literally. It is your turning it into reality. Let's let that realization be a verb. It is vibrations being turned into reality, realization, interpretation.
So, hands in the clay and playing. I'd like to learn to want more. There's only 3 things that I want in life.
Here's the thing. Learning to want more. Now, this is going to tie into everything that we've been talking about, so you will receive this easily. You've put so much into your vortex, you haven't scratched the surface of realizing what you want. What about that for good timing for a question? You haven't even scratched the surface of realizing what you want. So, your vortex is full of what you want. When you are in your manifested world, observing and responding, observing and reacting, there's a lot of clutter in your vibration usually. But the more you meditate, then the more you lower the resistance. Been talking about this all day and yesterday. But this is what we want you to hear. The reason that most people would rather be out here in the manifested world than meditate for 15 minutes is because there's more juice in the manifested world and that there's more going on. There's more momentum. And humans translate momentum as power. Well, there is more power in faster momentum than there is in slower momentum. But hear this distinction. If you've got momentum that is contradicted, so your train's going that way and 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 that way, that's not powerful. There's momentum because I've got this desire that's got momentum and this doubt that's got momentum, this desire and this belief and this desire and this belief. So there's a lot of momentum and I feel active and maybe alive and maybe even a little invigorated and really busy for sure. But when you prefer that to meditating, which slows everything way down, especially at first, what we want you to hear is that even though you've powered it down to no resistance, you will begin to receive to your degree of readiness, and you've powered it all down so you're way ready, the information that your inner being holds about all of these desires. You don't have to work at desire. It will come to you. Just stop doing that thing you do that doesn't let you realize it. That would be like saying, I want my cork to float. And we say, let go of it. You say, no, I really want it to float. I want it to float, so I'm just going to hold it up here on the top. I'm going to hold it up here on the surface of the water because I want to want. And we say, or you could just let go of it and up it goes. Your desire is inevitable. You can't slow it down. You can't stop the contrast, so you can't stop the rockets, and you can't stop your inner being's awareness of it, and you can't stop law of attraction, and you can't slow your desire. But you can deprive yourself of the recognition of it by staying negative.
It was. What powers you? Meaning you said you offer blocks of thought. From my human brain, it means there is a source of power.
Ready for this? It's you. It's the part of us that is you, because we are all self-perpetuating, because we are eternal. Isn't it a nice cycle of eternal life?
So good, because I've been really annoying people about bragging about being the first with the train analogy on all the recordings. I'm like, I pulled that out of Abraham. And I've been told, maybe Abraham just told it to you.
You have pulled much from Abraham.
Got the recording, yes.
Oh, that's why we call this co-creation at its best. That's why we say, are you wanting to take thought beyond that which it has been before? Then let's get this combination of beings together with your human form and your inner being form, and let's mix it up and let's have some conversations, and let's, over a little bit of time, come into vibrational alignment, and then let's move forward universally. Yes, indeed.
Thank you,